Hello everyone, myself Sushmita. It is an complete course of chemistry for engineering chemistry student based on VTU syllabus. It involves the 5 modules one by one. Now you have to study. First module is electrochemistry and energy storage system. Second module is corrosion and metal finishing. Third module is energy system. Fourth, environmental pollution and water chemistry. And the last module is instrumental methods of analysis and nanomaterials. Now we have to start with the first module. What are the concepts that involves? The first module is electrochemistry and energy storage system. Electrochemistry means it is a branch of science that deals with the chemical energy that can be converted into electrical energy, otherwise the electrical energy that can be converted into chemical energy. Next, energy storage system. Energy will be stored in the form of batteries. Okay, first is how to study the use of free energy in chemical equilibria. In this concept you have to study the thermodynamic functions. Which are the thermodynamic function? Free energy, entropy, enthalpy, and in the free energy you have to study the Gibbs free energy and Helmholtz free energy. Okay, these are the topics we have to study. Next we have to study the derivation of the Nernst equation for electrode potential. Based on this Nernst equation we have to solve the problems also. Next, electrochemical energy system. Here we have to take the reference electrode. For this reference electrode, the example is an Kalman electrode. Here we have to study the construction, working and applications of the Kalman electrode. Next, ion selective electrode. For this ion selective electrode we have to take on the glass electrode is an example. In this we have to study the what is glass electrode and how to construct the glass electrode and what are the principles that involves in the glass electrode. By using this glass electrode we have to determine the pH of the electrodes. Okay, next we have to study the electrolyte concentration of the cell. Based on this electrolyte concentration we have to study the solve the numerical problems also. Next, energy storage system. Energy will be stored in the form of batteries. Here we have to study the classification, construction, introduction of primary, secondary and reserve batteries, and construction and working of nickel metal hydride battery, and next one is lithium battery we have to study. Okay, next move on to the second module. The second module is corrosion and metal finishing. Corrosion. Here we have to study the what is corrosion, what are the factors that affect the rate of the corrosion. What are the factors that affect the rate of corrosion means anodic and cathodic area, nature of the metal, nature of the corrosion product, nature of the medium, pH, conductivity and temperature. These are the factors which affect the rate of the corrosion. Next we have to study the type of corrosion. Differential method corrosion and differential aeration corrosion. Now in this differential aeration method corrosion you have to study the two types of corrosion. One is pitting corrosion, another one is waterline corrosion. Okay, next, corrosion control. Corrosion will be controlled by anodizing of aluminum, and also we have to next one is cathode protection is also study. Okay, in this cathode protection we have to study sacrificial anodic and impression current method. Next is metal coating galvanization. Okay, next topic is metal finishing. In this we have to study the electroplating and electroless plating. What are the electroplating principle that involves means polarization, decomposition and over voltage. Next we have to study the what are the main differences between the electroplating and electroless plating. Next we have to study the electroplating of the chromium by decorative methods and by hard method. Next we have to study electroless plating of nickel and also copper. These are the overall second module. Next we move on to the third module. The third module is energy system. Energy system you have to study in this module is water, chemical fuels, fuel cells and solar energy. In this chemical fuel we have to study the calorific value. What is calorific value and what are the lower calorific and higher calorific value, and calorific value of the solid liquid fuel using bomb calorimeter we have to determine. Next, based on this bomb calorimeter, we have to solve the numerical problems also. Next, knocking off petrol engine. What are the effects that causes the knocking of petrol engine and how to prevent the knocking of the petrol engine, we have to study. Next, power, alcohol and biodiesel. Next, fuel cell. In this we have to study the what is the difference between the conventional fuel cell and the fuel cell. Conventional cell is nothing but batteries. Next, in this we have to study the construction, working and applications of the methanol oxygen fuel cell by using H2SO4 as an electrolyte and solid oxide fuel cell. Next, move on to the solar energy. In this we have to study the introduction of the photovoltaic cell and how to construct and working that involves the photovoltaic cell. Next, you have to study the production of the solar grade silicon by union carbide process. In this last, we have to study the what is the advantages and disadvantages of the PV cell. Next, we have moved on to the fourth module, that is environmental pollution and water chemistry. We are familiar with the environmental pollution. Here we have mainly study the air pollution. What are the air pollution? What are the sources of the air pollution? How it will be controlled? Okay, here we are mainly discuss the primary air pollutions. Pollutant means the material that causes the pollution is called pollutant. Here the pollutant as carbon monoxide, oxides of nitrogen, sulfur, hydrocarbon, particulate matter and mercury and lead. And secondary pollutants are ozone and ozone depletion we have to study. Next, water chemistry. In this water chemistry we have to mainly study the what are the impurities of the water, boiler feed water, what are the troubles that involves in the boiler feed water, and next we have to study the water, how the boiler corrosion will occur. Okay, next, sources of the water pollution. Here we have to study the BOD and COD, biological oxygen demand and chemical oxygen demand. Based on the chemical oxygen demand, we have to study the numerical problems also we have to solve. Next, chemical analysis of the water. Chemical analysis of the water by gravimetric and calorimetry. In gravimetric, we have to study the what are the elements sulfides present in the water. In calorimetric, we are the study the fluorides. Okay, next, sewage treatment, primary, secondary and tertiary sewage treatment. Lastly, we have to study the desalination of the seawater by reverse osmosis. These are the topics involved in the fourth module. Next, move on to the fifth module, that is instrumental methods of analysis and nanomaterials. In this instrumental methods of analysis, we have to study the theory, instrumentation and applications of calorimetry and potentiometry and also conductometry. Next, we have to study the flame photometry and atomic absorption spectroscopy. Okay, next, nanomaterials. In this nanomaterial, you have to study the what is nanomaterials, what are the size dependent properties on the nanomaterials, and how to synthesize the nanomaterials by top down and bottom up approaches. Means here we have to synthesize by Sol-Gel process, precipitation and chemical vapor condensation method. Next, we have to study the nanomaterials, that is fluorines, carbon nanotube and graphenes. Here we have to study the what are the properties and application that involves. Okay, these are the overall 5 modules. Next class we will start with the first module, that is electrochemistry and energy storage system. Okay, thank you.